Imagine a world where the most charming, beautiful deity is also the most feared, a deity whose wrath can destroy just as much as his love can heal. This is Apollo, the god of beauty in Greek mythology, a creature so dazzling yet so dangerous that even the greatest gods tremble at his power. From delivering eternal punishment to turning people into trees, Apollo stands as a dramatic blend of allure, creativity, chaos, and pure danger, a deity who shows us that pure allure can mask a deep and threatening side. Apollo, the son of Zeus and Leto and the twin brother of Artemis, is often depicted as the perfect form of youthful masculinity, sculpted, strong, charming, and majestic. His face glows with eternal youth, his blonde locks flow gracefully down his shoulders, and his piercing blue eyes seem to see directly into your soul. His main domain includes the sun, healing, archery, poetry, and the arts, yet there's a much darker side that many people forget about. Apollo's power is not all sunshine. It can be a curse, a punishment, or a catastrophic punishment when he feels disrespected or disregarded by both mortals and other gods. One of the most dramatic stories reflecting Apollo's danger involves the fate of Queen Niobe. Queen Niobe boldly boasted that her children surpassed those of Leto, Apollo's own mother, stating that she was more blessed and more fertile. Furious at this insult, Apollo, alongside his twin sister Artemis, struck down all 14 of Niobe's children in a dramatic showdown. Some say their arrows fell from the clouds, piercing their hearts, while their mother screamed in agony. This tragedy stands as a powerful warning: do not offend a deity, especially when that deity controls both life and death. This moment shows us how a deity of healing can become a deity of death. Apollo controls both sickness and health, peace and chaos, choosing when to ease suffering or bring destruction. His power reaches directly into human lives, affecting their fates, their happiness, and their future. This is what makes Apollo a deity to be feared. We can appreciate his kindness, but we must always be cautious of his wrath. Additionally, there's the dramatic tale of Marsyas, a satyr who challenged Apollo in a musical showdown. Marsyas, proud of his own musical ability with his flute, decided to test his skill against Apollo's famous lyre. The competition was meant to be a showdown of artistry, a moment when two musical masters would see who was the greatest. But it turned into a dramatic tragedy. Apollo defeated Marsyas and, in a dramatic punishment, had him flayed alive. This punishment, meant to serve as a warning to all, shows us the danger in challenging a deity whose power cannot be defeated. The raw, painful fate of Marsyas resonates through time, adding a dramatic twist to the rich stories of classical mythology. Some say Apollo brings light, justice, and creativity, the finest elements of human expression. But we must remember that there is a darker side to his magic. His stories illuminate the dramatic paradox at the heart of classical mythology, that the most beautiful deity can be the most threatening, a deity whose power resonates with both light and shadow. Apollo shows us that, much like the human condition, there's a fine balance between creativity and chaos, healing and harm. So when we celebrate his many talents, when we appreciate his ability to heal, bring peace, illuminate knowledge, or inspire creativity, we must remember the danger that lies just beneath the surface. Apollo stands as a powerful reminder that pure allure can sometimes mask something much more sinister, a deity whose power can destroy just as much as it can create. His stories serve as a dramatic reflection on the human condition, the eternal conflict between our brightest ambitions and our darkest instincts. While Apollo is often recognized for his beautiful appearance and musical prowess, there are many stories that reveal just how complex and intimidating he really was. This side of Apollo, a deity who brings chaos, punishment, and tragedy, shows us that there's much more to him than just light and song. His power reaches deep into human hearts and fates, making him a deity we must treat with immense care and reverence. One dramatic story involves Cassandra of Troy. The tale starts when Apollo fell in love with Cassandra, a woman whose loyalty and honesty captured his imagination. Apollo offered her a wonderful gift, the ability to see the future if she chose to be his lover. Cassandra accepted the ability to see the future, but then turned away from him, breaking their deal. Furious at this betrayal, Apollo kept the gift of prophecy but placed a curse upon her. Nobody would believe her predictions. This meant that even when she saw danger or tragedy, nobody would listen. This punishment shows us that Apollo's kindness can become a heavy curse, turning a blessing into eternal agony for someone who crosses him. Some say that Apollo's wrath fell upon the people of Thebes after King Oedipus tried to avoid his fate, a fate that Apollo himself had predicted. Oedipus was destined to do awful things, killing his own father and married his own mother, but tried everything to avoid it. In the end, Apollo's words came true, and tragedy fell upon Thebes. This shows us how much control Apollo held over fate and the human condition. His power meant that even when people tried their best to avoid tragedy, their fates remained in his grip. Additionally, there's a dramatic story featuring Hyacinth, a young prince whom Apollo fell in love with. While the two were playing a game of discus, a strong breeze, influenced by the mischievous deity Zephyrus, the west wind, redirected the heavy disc, striking Hyacinth in the head and killing him. Grief-stricken, Apollo turned the drops of his lover's blood into a beautiful flower, the hyacinth, as a way to keep his memory alive. This moment shows us a more vulnerable side of Apollo, a deity wrestling with tragedy, regret, and eternal love. Other stories highlight Apollo's justice and punishment for those who challenged him or disrespected the moral order. The tale of Python is a dramatic example, a huge snake or dragon that attacked the oracle of Delphi. Apollo defeated the creature and made its cave his own, turning it into a place where future priests, the Pythia, would speak his messages directly to mankind. This event not only secured his power, but also made him a master of fate, a deity who could control knowledge, guidance, and justice. Some say Apollo also fell in love with Daphne, a nymph who chose eternal purity over marriage. When Apollo fell for her, he rushed after her, eager to win her heart. Instead, Daphne cried out to the gods for help, and just as Apollo was closing in, she turned into a laurel tree. From then on, the laurel, a symbol of eternal glory, became a symbol of Apollo, honoring both his love and his tragedy. This shows us that even a deity's greatest desires can be defeated by fate and transformation. Lastly, there's the dramatic tale of Apollo and Coronis. Coronis was a mortal woman who fell in love with Apollo and became pregnant with their child, a son destined to be a great healer. However, Coronis was unfaithful, and a white raven, a creature then pure and spotless, rushed to tell Apollo. Furious and filled with rage, Apollo struck down Coronis with his arrows, yet he chose to spare their son, Asclepios, a deity who later became the greatest healer in the world. This moment shows us that a deity's wrath can destroy and create in a single instant, adding depth to their character, making them more human in their struggles. Apollo stands as a dramatic, flawed, yet majestic deity, a creature forged by fate, tragedy, love, punishment, justice, and renewal. His stories illuminate the human condition, reflecting our highest ambitions and our darkest moments. His power resonates across time, a powerful symbol of transformation, creativity, fate, and eternal conflict. So when we think of Apollo, we must remember both the light and the shadow, the danger that lies within pure allure, and appreciate the dramatic stories that make him a deity for the ages.